Hey everybody, and welcome back to some more Botania Gardens of Glass. We're back, and I've done quite a lot of stuff, maybe too much stuff, between episodes here. Mostly, it's been more of the same. I've done pretty much the same stuff that we did last episode. I cut down a bunch of trees. I've got a bunch of cobblestones. Fun fact, actually, I did find out between episodes that the number of stones that you get is not limited, really. And so if you tap the mouse button very quickly, you get a lot of stones. And so I decided to try and take this one step further, and it turns out if you set up kind of a clicker, then you can do this and get just a ridiculous number of stones ridiculously quickly. Like, it is insane how many stones you can get. It's a little bit cheesy. I don't really think it's in the spirit of the Skyblock, but it does make my life just a little bit easier when it comes to grinding out these pebbles. And also, the fastest way I think to craft these up is just to press U and then shift-click in the recipe and do that over and over again until all of your stones are gone. Just a few quick tips on how to get a lot of cobblestone. As you can see, we do have quite a lot of cobblestone now, as well as quite a bit of stone. I have been continually filling up these furnaces over here to make sure that we have as much stone as possible. And I've also been occasionally grabbing some wood, some coal, some charcoal, anything that we have really, and throwing it down by our endo flames to make sure that we always have at least some mana over here in our mana pool. You'll see we did get some redstone ore. We can't pick that up just yet because we do not have an iron pickaxe, but what we can do is we can throw down a bunch of these. We've got some diamond ore, which is good, and we've got a bunch of mana, by the way. I've kind of backed up quite a bit of the stuff, and so we can get just a ton of these ores, and I think we can even go one further out. We can, and get just a bunch of stuff, which is really cool. I'll mine all that up in just a second, but what I want to work on in today's episode, or at least to start with in today's episode, is I want to kind of upgrade our mob farm, which I've kind of already done. You may notice that there are Endermen in our spawner now, and that is because between episodes, if we go on back over to our chest, which is something else that I haven't mentioned yet, but I've organized all of our stuff into chests. I did not mean to take that fall damage, but that's fine. We'll just eat some more of our plethora of rotten flesh. But essentially, I moved all the chests, I made a few more chests, and given that we don't have applied energistics or storage drawers or really anything in the way of storage apart from iron chests, I figured it's probably best if we start to organize all of our stuff sooner rather than later. And so I've got a chest for stone, which right now is also holding all of our ores and all of our coal, basically all of the cobblestone, as well as everything that we get from our orchid. We've then got a chest for Botania, which contains all the flowers, and also I guess we can put the Lexica Botania in there. Wood, which contains, you guessed it, all of the wood and our saplings. Mob drops, this one's kind of self-explanatory, and they're pretty much just everything else right now. I did do some more grass breaking. You can see we've got 14 seeds now, and so hopefully we won't have any trouble making some more flowers today. But over here in the end chest, we've got 2 death books. When you die in this mod pack, you get a book, and the book tells you what you had on you when you died. The reason why I died is because we don't have mob griefing off, and we also don't have keep inventory off. So keep inventory is not a thing. You don't keep your inventory when you die, and mobs do cause damage to the environment. I think I said that's the right way around, but mob griefing is off, keep inventory is also off. So what happened was, twice actually, creepers blew up and broke part of the mob spawner here, but also sent me flying off down into the void, which was not the best. I did lose a couple of items there, but it did give me a chance to actually kind of strip down the mob spawner a little bit, make it 1 block taller, and make room for these endermen to start spawning, because we are going to need some ender pearls at some point in the near future. I'm still not entirely happy with it, mostly due to the fact that we're not getting any spiders for the most part. If we come down and look inside of my mob chest, you'll see that we don't have any string whatsoever, which is a really big problem, because if we look at the recipe for the fell pumpkin, which we're going to have to make, I think like 15 of in today's episode, it requires string. Now, we've got all the rotten flesh, we've got all the gunpowder, we've got all the bones, and we even have pumpkin seeds over here, and we've got enough bone meal to grow a bunch of pumpkins, but we don't have the string, which is gonna be a bit of a problem. Now, I think what I can probably do to counteract this is just make the platform a little wider. I think if I make it maybe 3 or 4 wide, then we might start to see a few more spiders spawning. Right now, it's only 2 wide. Flipping heck, you see a lot of kind of tooltips at the top there. Flip. Oh my goodness, they can see me. And they start, oh yeah, that's not good. Okay, I did not realize that this was kind of the perfect angle to aggro every single mob. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. This was not my plan. However, okay, hold on. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. This is not what I wanted to happen. in today's episode. You gotta swing, Isaac, swing. Oh, okay, let me get out of here. No! Flipping heck. Oh, that's not good, because I think I just lost all of my rotten flesh. We did get an ender pearl, which I guess is fine. Okay, we gotta act fast, because they are coming for our brains. What I'm going to do is, we do have 2 iron ingots in the end chest over there. I'm not quite sure if those are from zombies, or if those are from witches. We did have a couple of witches spawning between episodes, but let's grab this and let's try and fight all these off. It's kind of a good thing because that mob spawner exploding means that hopefully more mobs won't spawn during the day, which should give us a good deal of time. What's with this? Oh my goodness. No. Okay, hold on. We might be able to salvage this with a little bit of archery. This was not how I intended to start today's episode. Flipping heck. All right, let's see if we can just kind of take these guys down one at a time. We've got enough arrows. We should be fine. We're getting a ton of the arrows. Flipping heck. All right. Let's pick all this stuff up, and let's see about making this this mob spawner just a little bit wider. And once I've done that, I would like to craft up another flower that's going to help us quite a bit with our mob killing problem, because it's not too hard to make sure that creepers don't explode, but every so often they do explode, and I do lose items and things do go wrong when I'm trying to kill the mobs. And so I would like to make it, don't you fire back at me, I'd like to make it so that we don't have to actually physically attack the mobs. I would like to make a flower that kills the mobs for us, and thankfully Botania has us covered. Okay, let's step back, let's not get hit again. We got hit again. Hold on. See if I can snipe this guy. We need to get rid of the skeletons for the most part. Those are the guys that are going to cause us the most problems. Get out of here. I just want to be able to get over to these guys. Can I get these guys from here? I think I can if I just very... No, I don't know if I'm hitting them. Okay, let's see about getting in under here. Here we go. I would rather if you didn't explode. Gosh dang it. Okay. This is fine. This is... fine. Oh, it's not fine. He's gonna blow up. I can still see my sword. My sword is still there. He's gonna blow up. That's fine. We can jump over the gap. He didn't make much of a gap. Let's get our stuff back. And let's get the flipping heck out of here. No! Okay. All right, guys, it is fine. A little bit of a setback at the start of today's episode. Not at all what I had planned for the start of today's episode. But what I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to go away real quick. I'm going to grab a bunch of torches. I'm going to grab a bunch of cobblestone. I'm going to turn quite a lot of this into slabs because we're probably going to need them. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to the mob spawner. I'm going to take care of any mobs that are left. By the looks of it, there are none, which is good. And thankfully, we do have quite a few spare mob drops here. I don't think that we lost anything of vital importance. I think the only things we lost were like swords and mob drops and stuff that we can get back, which is fine. Did we have our Lexicon Botania on us, or did I put that back in the chest? I hope that I put it back in the chest, but if not, that's not too big of a deal. We can always go ahead and craft another one at some point in the future. I don't think we need one ASAP. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go away. I'm going to make this mob spawner probably about 4 wide. So I'm just going to make it a bit wider, and I'll be back in a second. And a little while later, we now have a slightly wider mob platform, and I never thought that I would be saying it, but thankfully, we now have some spiders. You can't quite see them because they've kind of crawled up to the top here, but you can definitely hear them, and I did see a few of them. You can see them right there. I don't know if you could quite see that. I might zoom in when I edit the video, but there he is. We've got, I think, 2 spiders in there right now that are kind of hard to kill, and it's also going to be harder to kill mobs in general just because of the fact that the platform is now 4 deep, and we can't reach kind of all the way across the platform, and so that is where the Bellthorn comes in. This is the flower that I was talking about earlier that is going to automatically kill the mobs for us so long as we provide it with mana. And so if we quickly look at the recipe here, to make the Bellthorn, we need 3 mystical red petals, 2 mystical cyan petals, and 1 redstone root. A redstone root can be made with 1 piece of redstone and then 1 bit of grass, and you can get grass either by using mana infusion, but a much easier way of doing it is simply making some shears and then using those shears on a piece of bone mealed grass. So let's go ahead and smelt this iron up like so. Whilst we're waiting for that to smelt up, let's make sure that we have some bone meal. We do. I also got the red flowers and the cyan flowers ready so that we have all of the petals good to go. And I even filled up the petal apothecary with water, and so we can go 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. Now all we're missing is the redstone root. Thankfully, as I mentioned earlier, we did have a couple of witches spawn in our mob spawner, so we do have just a few pieces of redstone ready to go. And so now, if we make ourselves some shears, head on up to our grass platform, and then right-click like so, we can then just go ahead and left-click to break ourselves off a piece of grass, craft that up with our redstone to get ourselves some redstone root, and then finally, not like that, but we can drop the redstone root into the Pethel Apothecary with our seed, and kapow, we have ourselves the Bellthorn. Nice. Now, we are going to have to get another mana pool and another mana spreader if we want to set it up over there, but I think what I will do instead, for the time being, do we have an extra stick? We do not. But what I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to move the setup that we currently have over here over to the mob spawner, just to kind of show you guys how this is going to work. That'll cut away. I'll make another mana pool, another mana spreader, probably about 2 more endo flames for the area over there, and then we'll have a setup that's both here and over by the mob spawner. We are going to have to get 2 more pieces of dirt because I don't really like my chances of picking up this dirt. I did make the platform over there a little bit wider, you can probably see, so that hopefully in the future, if we do die, that our items kind of just spray out and land on cobblestone. What I should really do is build like a platform beneath it so that if things do explode, then the items land on the platform below. I might do that at some point in the near future. But what I'm going to do now, guys, real quick, is I'm going to go away. I'm going to put down a bunch of stone around this. I'm going to harvest all of this stuff. I will probably make an iron pickaxe real quick as well, so that we can actually harvest stuff like gold, stuff like diamond, and stuff like redstone. And I'll be back in a second. And not too long later, now that we've worn out all of the mana in this mana pool, we've got ourselves quite a bit of iron, gold, a few diamonds, a lot of redstone, and a good deal of coal as well. I'm going to very quickly put all of this stuff away because I do not want to lose it all if we happen to die whilst we're over on the mob platform over there. I'm going to keep a hold of a little bit of coal just so that we can fuel up our endo flames, and I think we are good to go. So we still don't have a Wander the Forest, but again, I don't think that's going to matter too much, simply because if we put down the flower after we put down the mana pool, I'm fairly certain that it will automatically connect. And so now what we should be able to do is throw down a little bit of coal. That should get picked up by our endo flames, which should then get fed automatically through the mana spreader into the mana pool. At least that's the plan. There we go. Is the mana being sent? We're gonna find out. I don't want to get too close. It is. I don't want to get too close because of the fact that there are mobs all over there. But as you might kind of be able to see, mobs are actually dying inside of the mob spawner. They're being killed by the Bellthorn. Now, the way that this works is it will kill any mob, or it will slowly damage any mob within a 6x6 area. The problem is that our mob spawner is ever so slightly wider than 6. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It won't kill them in this slot or in the other slot, but it will kill them all 4 deep. In fact, we could even make it 2 deeper and it would work there as well. And I think my plan for the long run is to put the Bellthorn on top of the spawner and make a big kind of 36 by 36 block for the mobs to spawn in. We'll then have the Bellthorn kill them all, and eventually we'll set up a hopper hock, which will then pick up all of the items and put them into an adjacent chest. Unfortunately, as of right now, the hopper hock requires a rune of air, and to get this, we need a feather as well as some white carpet, which I think is just wool, which is just string. So really all we need is a feather, which we might be able to get if we get enough string from all of these mob drops. I don't want to get close to these guys. I want to kill them faster, but I don't want to get close because I don't want stuff to blow up, but I definitely want to start picking up some of those items there before they despawn, especially the string. But if we want feathers, what we can do is we can make the Cocoon of Caprice, and basically what this does is you place it down, and after a little while it will spawn usually a random passive mob, you know, a cow, a sheep, a pig, a chicken. If we got lucky, we'd get a chicken on the first try. If not, we might have to make a few of them. It does require the fell pumpkin, and it does require the mana steel ingot, both of which are not too bad if we've got a good deal of string, which hopefully we can get now that we've got this new spawner. I can see a good deal of string already, but I really don't want the spawner to break. I also don't want to lose the flower or the mana pool or anything like that, and so I'm kind of just going to leave this for the time being until all of these mobs are dead. I might even go as far as to throw down like a torch in there just to make sure that no other mobs start spawning, because I want to make sure... Come on, there we go. I want to make sure that we can pick up all of this stuff. I kind of want to be able to just walk in and grab it all, and we might even be able to do that right about now. Playing it a little bit risky, but that's fine. We are good to go. All right, let's see. What did we get? How much string do we have? We're going to need about... Oh, we do have a skeleton still. I didn't see him, but that's fine. Let us pick up all of this. That's significantly easier than the way that we did it before. We do still need more string because, like I said before, we need enough. I think we need about 16 to make this happen. So let me get rid of these torches again. I'm not too bothered about losing those torches, although we could do with picking them up just to save on coal. But I'll throw this down here. We can head back over to our island. And what we should do now, whilst we're waiting for that to basically fill up again and fill up with mob drops, is we need to look at making these fell pumpkins. Now, basically, the way that this works is we craft together the rotten flesh, the gunpowder, the bone, and the string with a pumpkin, make the fell pumpkin, and then if we put that fell pumpkin on top of 2 iron bars, it will create a blaze, which we can then kill. And I believe the blazes that are spawned from fell pumpkins drop more blaze powder than normal blazes would. From some testing that I did in a single player world, it looks like you get anywhere between like 5 and 10 blaze powder for every single drop, averaging about 6. And so what we need is we need to get ourselves 10 blaze lamps in order to make ourselves 10 obsidian, because if we put the blaze lamps around a pure daisy, it makes obsidian, and that obsidian can then be used to get us to the nether, which is going to allow us to progress on to some other stuff, to getting unlimited water, to getting unlimited dirt, and all kinds of stuff like that that's going to be really, really useful. So we need a lot of iron bars, which thankfully you get when you craft iron bars, and we do have 12 iron ore in, we've got 17 iron ore in here, and I think that 12 should get us all of the iron bars that we need. That's going to get us 32. I think we might need all of those to get this up and running, but that also means that we need to get ourselves 16 fell pumpkins, which means, of course, that we have to get ourselves 16 actual pumpkins. And so, guys, what I am going to do is let's quickly craft up just a cobblestone hoe like so, and then if we throw down our pumpkin seed kind of just right about here, and then we craft up some bone meal, do something like this, we should be able, I think, to get our pumpkins fairly easily. Really, can I not do this? Can I not force a pumpkin to grow from there? I did not know that was a thing. All right, well, in that case, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away. I'm going to do a bunch more grass harvesting up here to hopefully get a few more pumpkin seeds so we can start growing multiple of them at once. I'm also going to go and keep doing the same thing that I've been doing up until now with the mob drops over here. I'm going to basically do that over and over and over again until we have enough string to make the 32 fell pumpkins, and also until we've got enough pumpkins to make the 16 fell pumpkins, and I'll be back in a second. Oh, we got a feather, so a chicken must have spawned in here at some point. That's really weird. I had a chicken spawn, or I saw a chicken between episodes while I was grinding out some mob kills. A chicken spawned in here, and I tried to keep it. Like, I penned it inside some cobblestone walls, but it despawned before the episode started. But it does look like, for some reason, chickens are spawning in here, which is really weird, but it does mean that we now have enough feathers to make the hopper hog, and so we might do that a little bit later on as well. But for now, I'm just going to go back to killing these mobs, growing some pumpkins, and I'll be back in a second. Also, it looks like I'm a bit of a noob for not knowing this, but it turns out, for those who also didn't know, that if you put down pumpkin seeds and grow them up to this point and then break them, you have a chance of getting more pumpkin seeds back. We didn't that time, but you'll notice I do have 5 pumpkin seeds now, and there we got 2 back from breaking it. And so, instead of bone mealing the grass up there over and over and over again, instead I'm just going to do this, and this a few times until we've got quite a lot of pumpkin seeds. Okay, so quite a while later, and I have managed to acquire 1 pumpkin. That's 15 shy of the number of pumpkins that I would like to have acquired, but for some reason, these things are growing incredibly slow. I'm not quite sure if I'm doing something wrong here or not. My vanilla Minecraft knowledge of the pumpkin growing speed or how to grow pumpkins is not the best, but I'm fairly certain that this should grow pumpkins, and one of these has grown a pumpkin so far, but I think what I'm going to have to do is kind of leave these going between episodes and keep coming back and harvesting them every so often so that we can eventually get to those 16 pumpkins. The reason we need so many of them is because in previous versions of Botania, so back in 1.7, there was a shedding mechanic that was enabled by default, and so if you spawned a blaze, you could then just leave the blaze kind of above a hopper, and over time, that blaze would just drop blaze powder. Kind of like the way that chickens will drop eggs if you just leave them above a hopper over time, or even not above a hopper. If you just leave them, they will drop eggs as time goes on. Now, in the 1.10 version of Botania, which is the one we're playing, the option is still there in the config, but it's not on by default, and so, to kind of stay pure to the Skyblock series, I decided to not turn it on, and instead we're going to have to make quite a few of these fell pumpkins and kill all of our blazes to get all of our blaze powder, and so, like I said, I will harvest those between episodes, and hopefully, by the time next episode starts, we will have 16 pumpkins ready to go. So, for the remainder of today's episode, I would like to work on finishing off the full automation of our mob farm over there, because we did, in fact, get a feather, which I believe is over here. It is, and so now we should be able to make this hopper hawk. The grey petals, easy enough. Light grey petals, super easy. Redstone root we've already made, and now we have a ton more redstone, so again, super easy. The only hard part about this was the petal apothecary, and for this, we needed string, we needed white carpet, which you can make from string, we need a mana steel ingot, which is just a normal iron ingot dropped into a mana pool, as well as a mana powder, which is kind of the same deal, gunpowder into a mana pool, get you that mana steel, and the only hard part that we didn't have was the feather, but thankfully we had some kind of chicken or something die inside of our mob spawner that got us a feather, and so now what we can do, I'm going to grab an ender pearl for the runic altar, which is how we're going to make the rune for the hopper hawk. For that we just need 5 living rock and then 1 mana pearl or 1 mana diamond. I'm going to use the mana pearl because we are about to pretty much automate our mob killing system, and so hopefully should get more mana pearls in the future. We also need 1 mana steel as well as 1 mana dust. There we go. And all we really need to do now, do we have enough living rock? We do. Let's craft up ourselves the runic altar like so. Once we've got that, for now, I'm going to put this down, I think, probably right about... I'm going to put it like here. It's not the best place in the world, but what we're going to do, we're going to put another mana spreader right next to our mana pool to pull the mana out of here and send it over to the runic altar. We could reorientate this one to come right over to here, but we've already got a decent amount of mana in the mana pool, and so it makes a little bit more sense to just pull it direct from there. So now that we've got ourselves some more living rock, we should already have, I think, a few more pink petals lying around in here. We do. Craft ourselves up another mana spreader like so. And then stick this guy down right about there. Nice. And so now what we have to do is put all of the items onto the runic altar that we need to make the rune of air. So that would be our mana steel, our mana powder, our feather. We do need a string, and we also need to make ourselves the carpet. The way that we make the carpet is simply by crafting up 4 string into a block of wool. 2 wool should get us 3 carpet, like so. And then we could throw that down onto the runic altar as well. And then what are we missing to finish this off? We are missing just 1 string. And so we could throw a string on like that, and that's going to start to pump mana into here. You can see on the right there, the rune is being created, and once it is ready to go, we do need to have a wand of the forest. So, let me see here. We should have what it takes now to make at least 3 twigs. We do. Let's also grab a couple of petals. I am going to go for the white one, simply because we have the most of those. Craft those up into petals, and what we should be able to do is something like this. That gets to the wand of the forest, and now when the particle effects start to show, we can throw on our living rock, right-click with the wand of the forest, and kapow, we have ourselves some runes of air. And now that we have those, it should not be hard for us whatsoever to get a hopper hawk, which acts kind of like a normal Minecraft hopper would, but it can work over distance, which is really useful for something like the mob farm that we have over there. So let's throw you down. Let's drop 1 of these in like so. What else do we need? 2 grey, 2 light grey, and then the redstone root. Let me quickly get my shears. I did lose my iron pickaxe because I did die once more over in the mob area. This time it was because I didn't light up the new bits of the platform that I put down outside of the actual spawner. And so a skeleton spawned in, and whilst I was walking over on that one wide ledge right there, he shot me. I was kind of close to the edge, so most of my stuff kind of landed on that new little safety like platform that we set up. But the iron pickaxe didn't. We lost it. We also probably lost a few other things as well, but that was kind of the most important item that we lost. Nevertheless, it's not too big of a deal. We can make another one fairly easily. Now, all we need to do, piece of redstone, craft those 2 up like so. Make sure that we have grey and light grey. Craft those up into petals, and I think we are good to go. We might want to set up a wheat farm as well at some point. We're probably going to wait until we have unlimited dirt before we do that, which shouldn't be too hard for us to do. We just need the Rod of the Land, I think it is. Yeah, the Rod of the Lands is the one that we need in order to make ourselves unlimited dirt, but we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. So now we have a Hopper Hock, and so let me quickly craft up a vanilla chest like so, because the way that the Hopper Hock works is you place it down, you can either give it mana or not give it mana. We're not going to give it mana, which is going to make it a little bit slower, but it's going to decrease the range in which it works, which might sound like a bad thing, but we don't want it picking up any of the fuels that we drop over here. So without mana, I believe it has a 6x6x6 range of effects. It can get things at a 6-block radius. Whereas if you give it mana, it will start being able to pick things up within a 10-block radius, and I really don't want it picking up any of the fuel that we drop down in front of the Endo Flames. You also notice that I did make a few more Endo Flames for over here. I made 2 more, made another mana spreader, another mana pool, just all of the same stuff that we have done before. So let me grab some oak wood planks just so we can get our Bellthorn back up and running to kind of demonstrate how this is going to work. And also, we are probably going to need a piece of dirt for the Hopper Hock as well. But what we can do now, I'm going to put this around the other side because, again, we want it at least 6 blocks away from, like, this spot here so it doesn't pick up any of the fuels. And so, like, 1, 2, 3, yeah, this should be fine. If we do it over here, again, I don't want the mobs to see me because I don't want them to start blowing up. No! No, gosh dang it. Well, flipping heck, gosh dang it. Wow, we were... I wouldn't have minded if we'd have just blown up where we were. If we'd have just dropped all of our stuff here, we would have had a chance to keep our Hopper Hock and to keep our rune. And I didn't even do the smart thing of putting a rune into one of my chests before I did this. Alright, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go away. I'm going to try, I guess, and get another feather, because right now, we just, I don't think, have one, which is a real shame, because it means we can't make any more of those runes of air. Gosh dang it, what the heck? Alright, guys, I'm going to go away. I'm going to do some more mob grinding until we get another feather. Once we get another feather, I'm going to do essentially what I just did there all over again until we have another Hopper Hock. And once we have another Hopper Hock, I'll be back to set that stuff up. Alright, so way too long later, it turns out that feathers are actually quite a rare drop from mob spawners. So much so, in fact, that I have built this entirely new, like, safety net underneath, so if I do get knocked off again, I hopefully will land on this lower level and won't lose all of my stuff when I die. And I've also managed to harvest, I think, 10 more pumpkins now, whilst I was waiting for just 1 feather in the mob spawner. I think the reason why we get feathers is because baby zombies are spawning on chickens, so they're like the zombie jockeys are spawning in there, and it turns out that the drop rate, or the spawn rate for those, is very low. So let me throw this away. I should probably, you know what, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to put this rune of air away, just in, like, the bizarre scenario that we die again. I would very much like to not have to get all of this stuff again. I had to make more shears, I had to make another Wander the Forest, more carpet, which wasn't too bad, but flipping heck. Alright, we've got our Hopper Hock. Thankfully, now what we should be able to do is just fully close up this box as well, because the Bellthorn will still be able to kill the mobs through walls, so it won't have to have a direct line of sight to them. And I believe the same is true for the Hopper Hock. He doesn't have to be able to see the drops in order to pick them up. So, let me break, I think, this block here, throw down some dirt. We're going to put down our Hopper Hock like this, and then we'll put down a chest right about there. And what should happen now is all of the drops that are on the floor should get picked up and should get put into here just to test it. If I throw an apple on the floor here, any second now, it should get picked up by the Hopper Hock and put into this chest. It did, and now let's go do the same thing to all of the drops inside of the mob spawner. And so now all we have to do is occasionally make sure that we are full up on fuel over here. Let me just craft like all of those up and then throw all that down like that. So now the Bellthorn will kill the mobs, the Hopper Hock will pick up the drops, put them in the chest. We might have to upgrade that chest to like an iron, gold, or diamond chest at some point in the near future, because it is going to fill up, I think, pretty quickly. But finally, we have an automated mob farming system, and like I said, I think, maybe between episodes, or maybe at the start of the next episode, close it off so that we have no chance of triggering the mobs. I don't want them to be able to see me at all, and also, I'd like to make this a bit bigger. I'd like to make it into a, I guess, 12 by 12 or maybe 13 by 13, and then put the Bellthorn in the middle, put the Hopperhawk maybe somewhere else, maybe on the other side, I'm not quite sure yet, but I'd like to make this as efficient as possible at some point in the near future, but for now, it's working just fine, and in fact, if we go around and take a quick look over here, we should see it filling up quite nicely. Cool. But with that, guys, I'm going to end this episode of Botania Gardens of Glass there. Flipping heck, it took me a lot longer than I thought it would. Next time, we'll come back and we'll hopefully have the remaining 6 pumpkins that we need in order to spawn a bunch of blazes, get ourselves the obsidian, get to the nether, and then hopefully from there, get our rod of the seas and our rod of the land so we can spawn unlimited water and unlimited dirt. But again, thank you for watching. Be sure to like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you guys next time.